meeting. And let me mention for those who perhaps not aware that there is a little slot right there by the gate. For those who'd like to have a copy of the agenda of tonight's meeting, there are copies right there where the attorney is located. Let's see. Pastor Virgil Gardner is on to give the invocation. He's not here. Chief, would you mind giving us the invocation? I appreciate it, sir.
Be honored to. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us together one more time in the presence of all the people in the community, our commissioners and city manager and everybody that's involved in operations daily here at the city. We ask that you keep your hand upon us, keep us all safe, guide us to make the right decisions in everything that we do, and just think about doing everything that's right in your name. We ask you this, Jesus Christ. Thank you. Amen.
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 Thank you, Chief. It is unintentional that I've asked the Patrolman Tyler Short to lead us in the pledge to the flag tonight. So it wasn't intended that the police would lead the whole opening, but proud that they are, very much so, in fact.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sirs. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Brewer. Here. Commissioner Cole. Here. Commissioner Goebel. Here. Commissioner Newby.
Here.
Mayor Blythe.
Here, thank you. I have a presentation tonight by a lady we always are happy to have as a part of our meetings and a part of our work. And Jennifer Lanehart, representing Hope's Wings. It's getting close to that time, isn't it?
Which Tom? To be arrested or? So you can rest tonight. You're not going to be arrested this
You
night.
turn over your Facebook page.
I'll take over your Facebook page, whatever you need me to
Whatever
do.
you need me to do.
To raise money for Hope Swings, I'll do anything. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me come by tonight. You do always a couple times a year. I would bombard you with a few more visits, but I don't want you to get tired of me. I'm here because we know that Monday starts Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I appreciate you letting me come a little early so I can kind of kick that off and invite you guys to our events that we have coming up. The shelter is a busy place right now, which tells me that obviously we still have lots of work to do in Madison County where it comes to domestic violence. Honestly, in the state of Kentucky, Kentucky is still ranked number 2 in the nation for cases of domestic violence. That's not a number that I'm super proud of, but I feel like that we, working together as a community, can make Madison County a little safer than maybe some of the other communities in our state. So I do appreciate the partnerships with the city and the county and all of the law enforcement agencies. Rodney, I appreciate you. As I said, Monday kicks off Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we always start it with lunch at City Hall. So this year is Richmond's turn to host that. Last year we had it at Berea. This year it's Richmond. So we will be right here Monday morning around 11 a.m. to sign the proclamation and then have lunch, and we can network. I think usually we network for about an hour or so where people are just eating and fellowshipping and asking questions. We're excited about this year's presentation because we have a very special guest who will be speaking, and we haven't had that before. And so I'm anxious for her and happy for her and all of those things. So I hope you all will come, and I hope community members will come. Purdy's and Baptist Health are providing lunch that day, so it will be delicious. So come, it's on us, on them, whatever. But we're doing that. Then during the month of October, we also do a rally called These Hands Don't Hurt. It's usually towards the end of the month every year to celebrate people in our community who don't use violence in their relationships, and unfortunately to recognize those people who have died this past year in Kentucky. I was hoping the number would be smaller this year, but it's not. We're just at 52 people right now who have died in this state due to domestic violence this past year, and the ages range from small children to elderly people. So please come out and join us. We're going to honor them. The rally this year is going to be in Berea at City Hall because Richmond is under construction. We have lots of good things happening here, right? So the courthouse is under construction. It's where we usually have it. We tried to have it at the Parks Department, but they said they're not doing anything in October. So to Berea we went, and Mayor Fraley is graciously hosting that. And so I would love for you all to come up there and support us during that. It's at 5:30 on October 20th. Again, that's open to the community. We think it's going to be a good time. We'll have some vendors and a parade and all of that. So it'll be nice. Please come join us for that if you find
October
yourself
20?
here. October 20th. Yep, and that starts at 5:30. And then throughout the month, we're doing some little small things to raise awareness. We're doing a Purple Light campaign, much like the green light when COVID was running rampant. People put in green light bulbs to kind of show support and unity over that issue. We want to do the same with domestic violence this month. So purple light bulbs, if you want, you can pick those up at Lowe's or Ace Hardware, or we have some at the shelter that I'm happy to make sure that you get. But we just want to light our community up purple, show some unity and some support that you're an ally for victims. We just thought we would try to do that this year. It's something new for us. And then one other thing that we're really excited about is our puppy fashion show, our dog fashion show. I don't know if you've seen that on Facebook, but we are going to try to raise money for Kentucky Saves. Kentucky Saves is a rescue that Ashley Renton, who owns Four Paws Unleashed, has started. And we wanted to do that this year because a lot of domestic violence victims won't leave their homes because they can't take their pets with them a lot of times. And they don't want to leave their pets. We get attached to our animals. And so Ashley always boards our pets for free. Anytime a victim wants to leave and she can't bring her pet, Ashley will take that animal in, she feeds it, she vets it a lot of times, and she charges absolutely nothing. So we wanted to raise a little bit of money, raise some awareness, but to raise some money for her this year as well. So on October 6th at Dreaming Creek Brewery, we're going to have a little puppy fashion show. If you don't want to enter your dog, fine, come out and watch a fashion show, have a beer, and donate to Kentucky Saves. We would just appreciate that support for her as well. So those are just some things that we have going on, and I appreciate you letting me share that with you and everybody out there. That's kind of us this month. Any questions about the shelter, what's happening?
Thanks for the tour for LMC.
Oh, well, I'm glad you guys came out.
That was
It was a big
amazing.
crowd. It was amazing.
To hear from two victims who shared their story was amazing.
Yes, and they will be the ones here on Monday. So they would truly appreciate your support. It's a big deal, the things that they did. When you got to hear them speak, so it was powerful and stuff. So any support that you can show them on Monday, that would be fantastic.
We're always glad when you come. Thank you for what you do.
Well, I appreciate you. I
Thank you
couldn't
so
do it
much.
without you guys, so it's a community, right? It takes everybody. But thank you. I appreciate you all giving me some time
Thanks,
on your
Jennifer.
very long agenda.
Hope's Wings. In our package, we have the minutes from the regular meeting held September 12 at 6 p. Had a chance to look at those, please. May we have a motion to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goebel? Second. Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion? Question, comment? None. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole? Yes. Commissioner Goebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-168, order of the City of Richmond promoting employees to Master Police Officer. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has a policy of promoting police officers for the position of master, and whereas there are several officers that have successfully met those requirements for master police officer who have submitted their applications for consideration for the assignment, and whereas the city manager has recommended the promotion of these employees. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following employees in the police department are hereby promoted to master police officer effective payroll October 2nd. These employees will be paid based on the fiscal year 23-24 approved pay scale. Pay grade 4. Tyler Short, his start date originally was in 2018. Tyson Yancey, also in 2018. This order shall be effective upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 23-168. May we have a motion, please, to bring the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cole and Commissioner Newby.
I ain't been gone that long.
Is there any discussion? Again, one of those things that makes us proud. In our department, we get movement in positions and officers who've been around for a while who continue to serve the people of Richmond, so we're happy. Any further comment or discussion? None. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Jim. This time, Chief, if you'll come, and we will make official.
I appreciate that. If Tyson and Detective Short and Detective Yancey can come up front here. I like to talk about you while you're standing up here. That's the best. Just for those who don't know that's in the crowd, a master police officer was something that the city blessed us with several years ago, not only to keep good people at the department, but to promote them up through the ranks and prepare them for future leadership. And these two officers here are a fine example of this. So you start out as a regular police officer, and then you promote up. At 3 years, it's kind of automatic at 3 years, you're a senior police officer. And then at 5, if you fill out an application and you meet all the criteria, which is a point system, then you could be recommended for promotion to master police officer. So just at 5 years doesn't mean that you get it. You have to really work and work hard through years 1 through 5 in order to obtain that, okay? There's awards, there's community service, there's special units that you have to be a part of. And if you click all the boxes, education, training, if you click all those boxes and you have enough points, at 5 years you can get there. But sometimes it takes longer. So with these two here, I'm very proud of them. Tyler and Tyson are both in our investigations unit. I said unit this time. I got it right. Investigations unit. They're in the criminal investigations section, but they do other things in the department. Tyler's also part of our task force, the United States Marshals Task Force, and Tyson kind of takes care of our fleet at the department, and that's a big deal because we have a lot of fleet vehicles, and he's assisted a great deal. But not only that, they have good ideas, they're hard workers, and they represent the city and our agency very well. So I'm proud of them. I'm glad what they've accomplished. Now, I think tonight Tyler has his father that's going to be here, and I've worked with his father in the past. He works for the state police. So if you want to come up, and you have your son that's going to be your wife. Your wife, come on up. And I think you've got your dad and your son that's going to do yours. So if you all would like to come up for Tyson. And this is kind of cool because, family's a big part of this, because without family, these officers, it's tough on these officers. So when you got, a father and a wife, and you have other family here that supports these officers and what they do, it's a big thing for them to receive their promotional pinning by someone in their family. So with that being said, go ahead and pin the rank on these officers. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Master Police Officers Tyler Short and Tyson Yancey. Thank you all.
Thank you again, Chief, and certainly congratulations to these two who already served us well, and looking forward to the days ahead for the service they shall continue to render for the citizens of Richmond and beyond, as you just heard. Yes, sir, thank you. We have ordinance 23-30, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, annexing property in the city boundaries and assigning zone classification for 371 South 82nd Drive. This is a second reading. We do vote tonight. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Beckley Properties LLC, the owner of the property described below, has consented to a voluntary annexation into the city limits. And whereas the property in question is contiguous to the city boundaries and is in urban in character and suitable for future development for urban purposes. And whereas the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission on August 16th conducted a public hearing as so to be able to make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners as to the appropriate zoning classification to be assigned to the property should it be annexed. And whereas at the conclusion of the public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to adopt the findings of facts attached to this ordinance, here incorporated in full, and recommend that the property, if annexed, be assigned a zoning classification of a total of 125 acres as agriculture. And whereas the Board of Commissioners finds it in the public interest that the property in question be annexed into the city boundaries and given the ag zoning classification. Now therefore be it ordained in accordance with provisions of Chapter 81A of the Kentucky Revised Statutes that the City of Richmond, Kentucky does hereby express its intention to annex the city limits those certain tracts of property for the Begley Property LLC, 125 acres. The property is hereby annexed into the city boundaries in accordance with the findings of facts and recommendation of the Planning and Zoning, which the findings of facts of that board does adopt its findings, and the property shall be zoned agriculture. The Department of Planning and Zoning and the GIS Department shall make the appropriate changes to the city map, and the city clerk shall forward this ordinance together with other necessary information and documentation to the appropriate local and state authorities. This ordinance shall become effective immediately upon adoption following second reading and publication in accordance with the provisions of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's ordinance 23-30. May we have a motion, please? As again, this is the second reading. A motion, please, to bring before discussion and approval. Motion by Commissioner Brewer.
Second. Just big one.
Second by Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? Anything, Mr. City Manager, we need to?
I'm sure everybody knows where 82nd Drive is in Richmond.
Yes, sir.
It's all the way out on Duncannon.
We finally figured that out.
Yeah, that's right. We've had a lot of people ask that question. It's part of the 600 acres we currently have under option for a potential industrial site, and this 125 acres, which is known as the Deaton Farm, hadn't been annexed in yet. So this is just a little housekeeping to make that property complete.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion, comment, question? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 23-31, ordinance of the City of Richmond amending Ordinance A-106 concerning the Richmond Utilities Board. This, too, is a second reading. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Richmond Utility Board was adopted by Ordinance A-106 in 1954, and whereas the ordinance created and established the Richmond Utilities Board to control, manage, operate the city-owned gas, water, and sewer system of Richmond, and whereas due to tremendous growth of the city, the utility system must be amended to show the current conditions. And whereas there is various amendments to the ordinance that would better facilitate the operations of the Richmond Utility Board, including ordinances. Whereas an amendment is necessary to ordinance 21-21 relating to the Richmond Utilities Board. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that ordinance 21-21, amending ordinance A 106, 0327, 1619 is hereby amended as follows. The chairman of the Utility Commission shall receive a monthly compensation of $350, and the remaining members shall receive a compensation of $300 monthly. The said board shall fix the compensation for all persons employed by it. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon second reading and adoption and publication in accordance with the requirements of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Got a little problem here. I'm not sure that I've got 31 in here.
It was a big packet, Mayor. I don't know if I marked it.
What's that?
It was a big packet, so I don't know if I marked that ordinance or not.
That's okay. Just a second, now, please. I've got 30. Yeah, this is it. I've got 30.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Thank you. We've heard the reading of ordinance 23-31. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion?
I just wanted to thank the Richmond Utilities Board and Scott for the leadership. You know, as we talk about trying to bring in new industry, obviously those utilities are super important. I think it's, you know, one of those things that's so easy to take for granted, you know, that your water, your sewage, those type things are always there. But I always, people say very positive things in the community about our utilities. So just thanks for that leadership and that we're prepared to grow as we need to.
Yes, certainly. Any further discussion, comment, question? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 23-33, an ordinance of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, declaring the city's intent to annex 2038 and 2040 Irvin Road into city limits and referring the annexation to the Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission for zoning
sorry.
classification. This is a first reading. Mr. Attorney, please.
Whereas Paul Taylor, owner of property described below, has requested a consent to voluntary annexation into the city limits of the said tract. Whereas the property is contiguous to the city's boundaries and is urban in character, and whereas no part of the property proposed to be annexed is included within the boundary of another incorporated city, and whereas the city of Richmond is capable of providing city services to the property, and whereas the Board of Commissioners of the City of Richmond, Kentucky finds it to be in the public interest that the property be annexed into the city limits. Now, therefore, be it ordained as follows. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 81A of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, and the City of Richmond, Kentucky does hereby express its intention to annex into the city limits that said tract of property, more particularly described as follows. Paul and Bobby Taylor, .45 acres plus or minus, address 2038 and 2040 Irvin Road, Richmond, Kentucky, deed book 770, pages 26 through 28. This matter is hereby referred to the City of Richmond Planning and Zoning Commission for that body's recommendation as to the appropriate zoning classification. This ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its adoption, following second reading and publication in accordance with the provisions of applicable Kentucky law.
Thank you, sir. That's ordinance 23-33. This is a first reading. May we have a motion to bring the floor for discussion?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole
Second.
and Commissioner Goble. Let's see here. Mr. Attorney, anything at this time you want to present regarding the matter further, or Mr. City Manager?
Sir, we have the applicant representation if you would wish to address it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Court. Corey, anything in particular you want to bring? I
Not in
think it's
particular.
pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Very straightforward. This property is located right next to the old Redhead Mart. Redhead Mart's closed. The Redhead Mart was annexed in previous. This is on the backside of the dam of Lake Reba. It's surrounded by city property. I was somewhat surprised that it was not already a part of the city's annexation of some previous tracts that were there. My client, Mr. Taylor, does not wish to seek a zone change. However, we certainly acknowledge that we're going to go through the steps for the initial zone. You know, we want to be a part of the city so we can have those services. As Commissioner Cole mentioned, you know, Richmond Utilities, they do a good job. And those residents that are located within the borders of City of Richmond and the county, they wish to take part and receive those services. It's that simple. We don't want a zone change. This is going to be residential housing. The lots don't make sense to ask for a zone change. Quite simply, we just want to be a part of the city. It's urban in character. It's contiguous to the city. It meets all the elemental requirements for you to vote in that manner.
All right. Any comment, question, discussion?
I just had a question in terms of, I mean, I assume they've owned the land for a little bit. Just like what has changed that kind of precipitated the request that you're bringing tonight?
You know, what the city of Richmond provides. And it's better than that which is in the county.
So as in utilities? I mean, is it
Yes,
a
ma'am.
utility issue?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. The fact that if we were within the city limits, we're capable of attaching to sewer, water. It's a better rate. It's certainly a better fire flow, which is very, very important. This area within itself, it just makes sense. You know, it's not a county property. If you can see it from the fields at Lake Reba, and then imagine that it's in the county, I think that's not the case. Everything else is in the county because I can't see it here. This is a property that's located right next to property that's been annexed. It's across the street from property that's been annexed. Directly behind it, you have the entire Lake Reba property that's now all a part within the city. We're just asking to receive the same benefits as our neighbors do.
That's what I was going to ask. Excuse me, Commissioner Gold. Immediately behind this property, going toward the lake, Catalpa Loop,
Correct.
those 2 or 3 homes, 3 or 4 homes down there, are they county or city?
They are county, however, they are within the same family and absent some medical issues, which I'm not at liberty to discuss. I had full intention of bringing those before this board as well. However, due to personal issues, wasn't able to get the signatures, quite frankly.
Because,
It's the same family. It's
Okay.
all their family
It
properties.
always
And
struck me as interesting when I would come off
we would
main drag on the Catalpa Loop, and then on the left-hand side is county, and
If you look at the application which I've provided, there is a survey that's been attached. That survey shows both residences, which front Irvin Road. Directly behind that, I had full expectations of being here, requesting that be a part of this annexation. However, due to circumstances, which, you know, certainly not at liberty to discuss,
that's all right.
I'm not. However, it will not surprise me if I'm back here at a time later on, God willing.
And would that then make solid that whole area as city, or is it still something?
If you were looking
That's
from-
really not for you to have to
Yeah,
address. Just
if you're looking
curious.
from the Lake Reba side, if you were looking up this property, in the event that I'm capable of bringing the next, that to the left would all be, and that would include there's the animal, it was the
Right.
vet's office for years. It includes the Redhead Mart. I don't have another name to call it, you know what I'm talking about. The old gas station that's there, that's no longer in operation. So that would make that entire kind of triangle on the opposite side of the road from Camp Catalpa and Lake Reba. That would make that all inclusive to the city of Richmond. And directly on the opposite side, all of that, because at that point now you're talking Lake Reba, the White House on the corner, going up to the church. It's all contiguous. It meets every elemental requirement that's necessary for this board's consideration.
Any further
Oh, I
discussion?
just have one
Yes,
other
I'm
quick
sorry, I
question. So
interrupted
if this
you.
continues to move forward and everything, so what zoning will you request when you take it before our planning and zoning board? What?
So because we were, the county zone, although we're going to call it the same thing, single-family residential, there's a different letter, U1, UC1, R1. Here, we're gonna ask for R1, it's single-family residential. We're not asking for any different use. We do have to request a different zone because there are different proper nouns associated with what the county calls it compared to what the city calls it. You know, the title, the noun itself is different. However, the use, it's identical. I mean, we're not gonna develop this. This was Granny's house and Mom's house, and we want to keep it the same. However, we want to expose ourselves to the benefits of being within the city and all the utilities that come with that. I think anybody that has the ability to associate itself within the city and receive those benefits, it just makes sense. Why would you not want to attach to the sewer system rather than have septic? You know, that's preventing future expenses, maintenance, and you know, just it's better, quite simply.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you all very much for your consideration.
Yes, sir. Order 23-161, order of the City of Richmond, Kentucky awarding a bid for a public safety mobile command unit police vehicle. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond is in need of the process of purchasing a mobile command unit to be utilized by our police department if situations warrant for additional safety precautions for the responding emergency personnel, and whereas this vehicle was advertised on August 22nd and one bid was received and determined to be the best proposal, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the mobile command unit bid is awarded to MBF Industries, Inc. of Sanford, Florida, for a total of $868,563. The funding for this purchase will be allocated from the City of Richmond American Rescue Plan Act Fund. The submitted bid is hereby attached to the order. This order shall take effect immediately upon passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's 23-161, order. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval. Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Goble, is there any discussion?
Does it have to be built?
Yes, it has to be manufactured. It's a Freightliner cab and chassis, but they actually build the box that sits on to specification per RPD's request. And Chief, I forgot the lead time on, what was the lead time on it? 18 months? That sounds right.
Yeah,
18, 20 months.
is
Yeah.
lead time on it. And good thing about it, Mayor, I'm sure I'm okay.
Yes.
They make that box specific to us, but the truck, that box can be removed if it ever has to be updated in the future, set off, and then another one set on in its place. So this is a many years in the future investment that we can, that has served the city well for many years to come.
This purchase is long overdue for a city our size. If we were to have a natural disaster, missing person, any other kind of hostage situation or anything like that, this is long overdue to have as a command center.
It certainly adds to our fleet.
It will add to our fleet, and like the city manager said, it's gonna give us the ability to set up incident command near the scene, where right now we're working out of the back of vehicles. And it will give us the ability for fire to get to the scene, set that up, so when we all get there, we'll be able to run those. And especially if we get any federal assistance, if something unfortunately happens to that degree, then we're all gonna be on the same page when they get here. It's just for future planning. It's exactly what we need for the future. But even if, for example, Mayor or Commissioners, if you all wanted to come to the scene to get a briefing or an update, I would now have the ability to talk to you somewhere other than the side of the street, And I think some of those conversations need to take place, so I can give you up-to-date information that we might not want to put out publicly until we secure things.
Yes.
So it's really important to us to have something like this in place. It will not only benefit RPD, trust me, fire or the street department, anybody that's involved with the city that could potentially assist us during an emergency situation, this is where we'll work out of.
It is a public safety mobile command unit.
Pretty much, yes, sir. Yes.
Now, there's only one stipulation here. It Is this in order? This is in order, so we vote tonight. I'm gonna tell you for the last time, get me one.
Yeah. Well, Mayor, we can promise you one thing, and the commissioners as well, and a lot of you came out, I mean, we can take you around the block in it. How's that sound?
I told you that Brewer and I need something to ride to the beach in. Gee whiz.
It'll be something really special for the city. I think it'll be
Yes.
something you all will be very proud of when it's
Yes, sir.
complete.
Thank you for moving in that direction, Chief. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-162, in order of the City of Richmond hiring firefighters. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas there currently exist vacancies in the position of firefighter, which needs to be filled in order to maintain the desired level of service for the city, and whereas the positions were advertised with an extensive hire process and interviews conducted with the applicants by an interview panel, and whereas based on the recommendations of the panel, the following are recommended for the position of firefighter. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individuals are hired as firefighter 1, contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements pending medical examinations at pay grade 3. The annual salary will be based on fiscal year 23-24 fire pay scale, effective September 27th. Jeremy Williamson, Stephanie Silver, Samuel Blackbird, Matthew Utter, John Daughtery. These employees will serve a 1-year probationary period from hire date. This order shall become effective immediately upon passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 23-162. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
I move.
Commissioner Newby,
Second.
Commissioner Cole, is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 23-163, an order of the City of Richmond entering into a lease agreement for a rough mower and authorizing the mayor to execute the lease agreement on behalf of the city. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the golf maintenance department is in need of a new rough mower in order to properly care for the city's Gibson Bay Golf Course, and whereas bids were advertised and one bid was submitted which met all specifications requested by the Green Superintendent, and whereas the First Citizens Bank and Trust Company has undertaken the financing for the lease per the lease agreement attached to this order. And whereas the board finds it in the public interest that the city acquire the needed equipment pursuant to the terms contained in the lease agreement. Now therefore be it ordered by the city that shall lease the Jacobson HR 800 large area rotary mower with a cool top canopy from Lades of Memphis, Tennessee, described in the lease agreement in accordance with the terms thereof, and that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute the same on behalf of the city. Funding for the lease will be allocated from 4110-5345.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 23-163. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Goble and Commissioner Brewer. Is there any discussion?
Just so you know, that cool top canopy is a big thing for the guy mowing.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's
They're
he's
excited, I
very
think.
excited
Yeah.
about that.
Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 23-164, order of the City of Richmond hiring a safety officer for the police department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas there is a need for a safety officer for the police department, and whereas the city manager has recommended the hiring of this qualified applicant, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individual is hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements and background checks as an at-will community safety officer for the police department effective October 9th, pay grade 2, Jacob Steiner. He is an at-will employee and will serve a one-year probationary period. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 23-164. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Goble. Is there any discussion? Chief, how many safety officers will they give us now, please?
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you all for passing this year's budget, and that included an additional one, which will give us a total of 2. And Mr. Steiner's here tonight, if you'll stand. I like it when they come to these meetings, when you all
Yes, sir.
do this. This is good for me. I like it a lot. But thanks for being here. But we've worked with him in the past. He's coming from the county, and I think he'll represent us very well.
Excellent.
And I don't know if you all are familiar with what a safety officer does, but they supplement our patrol police officers. They can work accidents, help with motorist assist, change tires, pick up trash, direct traffic, anything that they can do to assist our patrol officers during the daytime hours and sometimes in the evening. They're a big benefit, huge
Great.
benefit.
I've noticed many situations, Chief, in which their service obviously was much needed, but in which they performed well, leading even perhaps funeral processions.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
blocking intersections when necessary and that kind of thing. So looking forward certainly to working with you. Thanks, sir. Welcome. Yes, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Let's see, have we passed this? We haven't passed.
No.
We've already voted?
No, we need to
we
vote.
have. All right,
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. I agree with you, Chief. It's good when someone is going to be under consideration that they would come, because there may be a question, or, just who is this person? So, thank you, certainly, for being present. Order 23-165, order of the City of Richmond awarding several bids to purchase equipment for the recycle department. Mr. City Manager, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has advertised and accepted bids for purchase of equipment that will enhance the operations in the recycling department, and whereas bids were received and after review with amendments, all proposals met specifications have been determined to be the best. Now therefore be ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners, the purchase of a plastic perforator is awarded to Compactors Incorporated of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, for a total of $21,230. The purchase of a skid loader is awarded to Derby State Equipment Sales of Richmond, Kentucky, for a total of $42,685.42. The purchase of 5 product cages is awarded to B&H Tool Works Incorporated of Richmond, Kentucky, for a total of $24,925. All purchases will be allocated to funding account 001-3500-5640. This order shall take effect upon reading and passage by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Order 23-165. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Newby. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I want to inform the commission that we had an additional building for recycling that was going to be built, a pole barn, and we had budgeted $99,500 for that. The quote we got was $126,000. We're going to hold off on that project until the spring of next year, and the reason being, obviously, because it was over budget, but also the skid loader was over budget by about $2,685, and then the plastic perforator was over what we budgeted for by about $2,000. So not doing the pole barn project at this time allows us to purchase these other 3 items. When we do a budget amendment in March or April, we'll adjust accordingly and then put that back out to bid, the pole barn, and try to start it next spring,
Thank you, sir.
just to stay within the confines of auditors.
Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-166. Order of the City of Richmond promoting employees in the fire department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the City of Richmond has openings in the Richmond Fire Department due to recent retirements, and whereas there are employees that have successfully completed their promotional process, which has consisted of an oral interview conducted before a selection panel and evaluated on their abilities, education, training, and leadership in the department. And whereas the Fire Chief Brooks Elders has made a recommendation for these promotions, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following fire department employees shall be promoted from firefighter 3 to the rank of captain, effective payroll October 2nd at the pay rate of fiscal year 23-24 fire pay scale, pay grade 5. Ben Elser. He was an EKU co-op student in 2013, hired as firefighter 1 in 2016, promoted to firefighter 2 in 2017, and promoted as firefighter 3 of August 10th of 2023. This order shall be in full force and effective on passage by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 23-166. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval.
I move.
Commissioner Newby and Commissioner Gogol. Thank you. Any discussion?
Mayor, I just want
Yes,
to point out to the rest of the board, the question you brought to me earlier today in
Yes, sir.
reference to, the mayor brought the question that this individual was promoted to firefighter 3 just 6 weeks ago. And normally you have to serve a 1-year probation when you're promoted into a position before you can be promoted into the next position. We asked Althea to come in and visit with us, and we sorted through this. Commissioner Brewer was there as well. But we just established this firefighter 3 position in this budget July 1st. And there was a whole line of firefighter 2s that were already certified to move into that firefighter 3 position. And we really need to continue to move these people up in the rankings so we don't clog the creek, you might say, and keep people moving up. So the firefighter 1, 2, and 3s, and Jim probably knows this better than I do, has to do with certifications as you move up. So that's
Thank you.
how we
Appreciate
answered that
that.
question.
Any further discussion?
The mayor did his homework on me.
Paying attention.
I read it.
Yeah, every word.
Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Gobel,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 23-167, an order of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, appointing a new member to the Richmond Ethics Board. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas there is a vacancy on the Richmond Ethics Board, and whereas a citizen is interested in serving and has made a commitment to attend all meetings, now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that Scott E. Collins be appointed to the Richmond Ethics Board for a term of 3 years, effective 2023 and expiring 2026. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's Order 23-167. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval.
So moved.
Commissioner Gobel,
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, is there any discussion?
No, I think he's going to be a great addition.
Yeah, I think we both talked to him at separate times. I think he'll do well.
Excellent. He definitely has an interest in the well-being of Richmond City. Yes, indeed. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Gobel?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Order 23-169, an order of the City of Richmond accepting a retirement by an employee in the fire department. Plattner, Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas Todd Plattner, firefighter 1 in the fire department, has submitted his retirement notice to the city on September 21st. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners accepts the retirement of Todd Plattner from the fire department effective September 30th. The city would like to thank him for his service and dedication to the department since 2003. This order shall become effective immediately upon adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 23-169. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, Commissioner Newby. Any discussion?
I'll make a parting comment or two. I worked with Todd for over a decade, and I've known him since middle school. And Todd was an excellent firefighter, and he's an even better human being. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you, Commissioner Newby. Let me add to that. I concur with you. One of the things even that he contributed during his tenure that went far beyond our department. He wrote a little book
Yes.
on, in essence, physical fitness for firefighters. That book, if I remember correctly, back then was adopted by the Kentucky League of Cities to be used in its work with fire departments within our cities. So
He's into physical fitness, and he
Yes.
can. And if he's out there listening, you can probably now lift more than me. Now.
Especially with the neck brace.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Thank you for that, Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-170, order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee in the IT department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the IT department is in need of a full-time data engineer, and whereas the newly created position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the city manager has recommended the hire for this position. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individuals hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as a data engineer for the IT department. Pay grade 5, effective October 9th. Jesse Brown, he is an at-will employee and will serve a 1-year probationary period. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 23-170. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-171, order of the City of Richmond hiring an employee in the Finance Department. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas the Finance Department is in need of a full-time finance clerk, and whereas the position was advertised and interviews conducted, and whereas the city manager has recommended a hire for this position. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following individuals hired contingent upon their successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements as a finance clerk for the Finance Department, pay grade 2, effective October 2nd. Samuel Dykes, he is an at-will employee and will serve a 1-year probationary period. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That's order 23-171. May we have a motion, please, to bring to the floor to the desk, floor, the wherever, for discussion and approval.
I move.
Thank you, Commissioner Newby.
Second.
Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Order 23-172, an order of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, promoting personnel in the fire department to firefighter 3. Madam Clerk, please.
Whereas it is in the intention of the Board of Commissioners to have highly qualified personnel in all city departments, and whereas firefighters 1, 2, and 3 classifications provide personnel an opportunity for personal growth and education while improving the workforce, and whereas a notice and opportunity was given to all eligible and interested personnel in the fire department to test and qualify for firefighter 3. Now therefore be it ordered by the City of Richmond Board of Commissioners that the following promotion effective for October 2nd, 2023 as firefighter 3, pay grade 4. Will Martin, hired as firefighter 1 in 2020, promoted to firefighter 2 in 2021. Rate of pay will be based off the approved fiscal year 23-24 fire pay scale. This order shall be in full force and effect upon reading and adoption by the Richmond City Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Order 23-172. May we have a motion, please, bring to the floor for discussion and approval?
So moved.
Commissioner Goble,
Second.
Commissioner Newby, is there any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Goble,
Yes.
Commissioner Newby,
Yes.
Mayor Blythe.
Yes, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments that came through your office?
No, sir.
Or to be presented? Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience tonight who's come to make any public comments? Wow. All right, Mr. City Manager, please.
Let's see what I have on my list here tonight. Camp Catalpa finally got finished and opened up today, I believe it is, so that's good news. Armory Park is scheduled to be finished first week in October. We're gonna plan for a ribbon cutting the second week in October. With the Millstone Festival coming up, we didn't want to try to cram everything in the first week of October, so we'll probably do it tentatively October 12th, which is a Thursday. That's the plan right now. You probably have noticed our street lights going up on Main Street. They've made it all the way up to First and Second Streets, along with the string lights. They probably won't get them all completed prior to the Millstone Festival, but I would say the second week in October, that project will be completed as well.
They look
They
great.
look really good at night if you've had a chance to see them. We received final approval for our entertainment district. Been a long time coming. On Monday, I think it was, our Mill Entertainment District. So just in time for the Millstone Festival. This allows businesses downtown to serve adult beverages in cups and those individuals to walk within the district area with those drinks. So that's exciting. And then, of course, our Millstone Festival is a week from Saturday. Starts at 11 till 8 o'clock at night, and there'll be an unveiling of the Squire Boone Rock at noon. So we'll have some golf carts available for you all, and also some reserved parking. So we'll let you know where that is. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Big doings. That's wonderful. Commissioner Brewer?
Just a couple of small things that take an hour. No, I'm just kidding. And we got all of our police vehicles in now.
I think we're waiting on 5, if I'm not mistaken. We're waiting on 5 that are 24s. Is that right, Chief?
I think we've got them all right now except 2.
Okay, good. See,
Okay.
that's okay.
And the coroner's vehicle,
It's on the lot. We just need to get it delivered.
okay.
Yeah.
On our lot? or-
No, on the dealership lot.
Okay,
Yeah. We'll have it probably, I wouldn't say this week, next week sometime.
okay. Busting dirt on the new park out there. When we gonna do that?
I've got a pre-construction meeting with the contractor Allen Company next Thursday, and we want to stage it to where we have equipment on site and kind of a broken ground area for you all to do the ceremonial shovel ceremony. So probably, I would say, third week in October, we'll break ground.
October's a busy month, isn't
It is, yep.
And the last thing, Chief, I was just, both our chief and assistant chief here for public safety, we were really pushing for our community to be safe. It's just a statement, we're trying to get everything in place for your all safety and our community safety. I appreciate the work both of you doing. And I can't go without farther than saying much about him if his mom doesn't call him and make him come out tonight. We appreciate your work. You know it
Tell
wasn't
him to
gonna-
leave you alone.
You know it wasn't gonna let it go, don't you? Yeah. That's all I got, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cole?
Yes, just a couple things. I think while the weather is still good, and city manager helped me, but I think we're going to try to do some sidewalk work over on Barnes Mill area before freezing temperatures get here.
We had plans to finish West Main coming back towards town, east towards town on the south side of West Main. We ran into a gas line issue, and Scott and I have decided that we would wait till next spring to finish that project on West Main coming back, so he has time to move lines properly, and we come behind and lay sidewalk. So we're gonna move the crew over to Barnes Mill, and they'll redo the sidewalks from Bobolink, I think that's right, Bobolink, up to almost where the new island is that comes through there.
Off of Eastway.
Eastway, that's it, I couldn't think of the street. So hopefully we'll get started on that next week. Josh Cole will make contact with the property owners to try to get some approval to get on their property to make the sidewalk more accessible, wider. As you know, right there we have electrical poles right in the middle of the sidewalk. So we do the best we can. We're trying to get around that stuff. So hopefully that'll start next week for you, Commissioner Cole.
And then, last but not least,
I know.
Holy cow. I'm
we
gonna
have
smack
not
her
given
right.
up on the traffic light signal for Great House Drive and Duckhorn. We have not forgotten it, and there was a little bit of confusion because we put a stop sign in on Great House Drive in the past week, which is good. But we totally realize that in no way impacts or substitutes for a traffic light there at the intersection on the Robert R. Martin bypass. So I know I ask you this every time, City Manager, but just give us the latest update.
The revisions requested by the state for the engineering design for that traffic signal were completed, submitted. The state engineer has agreed they're correct. They have sent me a agreement, and they were gonna require us to do about a $70,000 bond, which isn't right for a municipal have to do that. So we argued with them about that a little bit. Anyway, we signed the agreement. We're waiting for the Secretary of the Cabinet to sign off on the project like we had it before, and then we'll advertise. I would predict that we advertise it in the next 2 weeks, and we have a contract awarded by Christmas at the latest, and I would hope the project would be completed before July 4th. How about that?
So it's definitely still on the radar
It
screen.
is,
We have not
absolutely.
forgotten about it.
It is. And it's-
She's nothing if not consistent.
Yeah, there's a
I don't
lot to it
forget.
because it's a state highway. We're using a private sector engineer, and we are a partner along with another private partner in that area trying to get this done. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I assure you, when the fireworks go off next July, you'll have your traffic.
Well, the
signal.
thing is, the state's very thorough, because this has been 3 years.
They are,
They take a long time.
they are,
So,
so,
I get it.
Thank you.
you're welcome. And you're free to ask me every time. Please do.
No, I'm good, yes, thank you.
Commissioner Newby?
Oh, yeah, well, I just have one thing, Rob, but first, before I say my one thing, I just want to take this second to, it's been a long month for me, folks, and I want to thank everybody for your thoughts and your prayers, and especially for everybody that's made sure I didn't starve. This past month, I've had more lasagna and biscuits and gravy, and believe me, that's awesome for a guy for the past 35 years has lived off tuna, fish, and protein shakes. So, but thanks everybody. One little item, Rob, it's for the folks out at Derby Chase. They reached out to me a couple times, and of course I could just now get out and go check it out. But they said a while back, maybe even I don't know how long ago it was.
Last year, it was last year,
City, they cleaned out that
pond.
They cleaned out their pond, and they sent me pictures, and I drove out there, and there's still a big pile of dirt, but also they're not quite sure who owns the property, but it looks like multiple lots, maybe a bank or something, and it hadn't been mowed, and they said 2 years,
Okay,
and I thought, well, it can't be that long, so I drove out there, and it's chest level to me, so it's at least waist level to everybody, so, but.
Is there an address or?
Yes.
It's where we cleaned it out before, and that's exactly what we talked about.
It's,
When we cleaned that out.
6029
Yes.
Winning Colors Court.
Okay,
That's the house directly. I mean, it's affecting them the worst, but
I remember this now.
you'll see what, well, you already know, but that's where it is.
We'll take care of it.
Thank you, sir.
You
That's
bet.
all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Goble?
Yes. Something we learned at KLC, and we've already talked about this with Rob several times, but to do an evaluation for him and for us, basically, just, going through all the motions of what's expected and then, being able to measure all of that. And he's already looked into several different communities that do this for their city managers, and so I just want to be able to move forward with that, and everything's good. We just think it's a good idea for us to be able to do that.
So what,
Let me ask, well, I'll ask the city manager, I'll ask the attorney. Where do we do, is Althea still, where do we do that? Do we do that through HR? What, in seeking an instrument to do that with?
Yes, it's an HR evaluation. That's correct, and you can do it up to twice a year. Yes, sir.
is it written out that we do, or?
No, I can provide you examples, and I'll provide those to Althea, but it's up to this body to determine what kind of format they want to use and how they want to use it.
And KLC has a format, but you've talked to Paducah and several other people who
Yeah, I've got
have a-
several other city managers, copies of those, and I'll forward those to HR.
Okay,
But, are we doing it just here for you, or are we doing department heads, or are we doing?
That's all, we can only do it for Rob, right? Is that correct?
It's what pleases the board.
Well, who does the department heads if we don't?
We don't do
Never
employee
have.
evaluations. We do progressive discipline when there's a
Right.
problem.
Through our policies and
Yeah.
procedures manual, right?
Right, that's correct. And the new contract that you guys negotiated, it has in there that you can choose to do an evaluation. The way I read it, it was once a year and has to be done in July of each year, because that way you start a new budget cycle and there's expectations within the fiscal year budget. Because when you pass the budget, that's really my tool of what you all want us to do as a city. When we pass the budget, that gives us the green light to move forward with what we're doing, to accomplish those goals in the budget.
I think we did talk about, though, since we kind of were in the middle of the contract, you know what I'm saying? The timing was kind of weird, but
Yes, but by statute, it's allowed twice for you all to do it. The contract does put one of them in July. So
okay.
at your discretion, by statute, you are able to do the second.
Then can we do this just to prevent any conflict of interest? Can we ask the attorney and HR coordinator to get together and make a recommendation and give us some guidance, if you will, please?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Althea, appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Tyler. That way it keeps you.
that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kelly was holding this up back there. This was supposed to be tomorrow night, Dillingham Park with the EKU basketball team. It got postponed because the weather's supposed to be bad, so it's now October the 3rd. You're welcome.
Let me,
Tasty Tuesdays ends tonight, too.
is this the last one?
Yeah.
8 o'clock, goes to 8, so good, we've got time to. Let me mention one other thing, acknowledge one other person. Happy that Amy Scarborough is back with us, tonight representing the university. And Amy, is there anything you want to bring to us tonight on behalf of the university? You don't have to, but I just,
I just want to say thank you so much. Most of you were able to attend today, the State of the University address. We just appreciate the partnership so much. And anything we can do to help the city, community, please let us know. We're willing to get right in there and partner in any way we can. Thank you.
let's see, I think the president said today that, how many students short of record was that, of the expect? Okay, now.
10
So
of
I'm
them.
going to enroll, I'll enroll, Chief, can we get you to enroll, we need 10 people who'll enroll at the university so we can break the record. Okay, yeah, we'll just go ahead and, we'll take care of that. And thank you for being here tonight, Amy, certainly. I don't have anything else to appreciate what you all have brought tonight, so there's nothing else that I wish to bring. The next item on the agenda is executive session. According to KRS 61.810 sub 1 sub F regarding personnel, and 61.810 sub 1 sub B regarding acquisition or sale of property. May we have a motion, please, that we will go into executive session according to KRS 61810.
So moved.
Commissioner Cole,
Second.
Commissioner Goble. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Those who
Yeah, go for it. Sure.
Oh, yeah, I hear you, Jim.
I meant to pull David Stipe sitting there, but we went right into it, so David was one of the main players in all this.
May I have a motion, please, that we'll return from executive session to regular session, no action having been taken?
Second.
Commissioner Goble, Commissioner Cole. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Goble? Yes. Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. We have an order before us. I'm going to ask the clerk, please, if she will assign a number for this order. There's
23-173.
173. Now, Madam Clerk, do you have this?
Yes.
All righty.
Yeah, Tyler Frazier's going to read it for us.
All righty. We have ordered
Oh, I'm sorry.
23-173. I'm going to ask first that we will amend the agenda to include this order, 23-173, which is an order of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Richmond, Kentucky, authorizing option to purchase contract.
So moved.
Commissioner Brewer,
Second.
Commissioner Goble.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
Mr. Attorney, please, if you will read order 23-173.
Whereas the city is in need of large acreage industrial property to lure and entice large industry offering high-wage employment to the citizens of Richmond. And whereas a location has been identified that has acreage, location, and sufficient infrastructure to be ideal for a mega site development. And whereas the private owner is in agreement for the city to purchase an option on 403 plus or minus acres in exchange for $1,000. Now, therefore, be it ordered, the mayor is authorized to sign and the city is authorized to spend $1,000 to secure an option to purchase agreement for real estate to be used to lure high-paying, large-scale industry to the city of Richmond.
Thank you, sir. That's a reading of order 23-173. May we have a motion, please, to bring this order to the floor for discussion and approval?
I move.
Commissioner Newby
Second.
and Commissioner Cole. Is there any discussion at this time that we need to have beyond? None? All right, I think it's self-explanatory as much as can be. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Goble?
Yes.
Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. All right, if all
hearts and
all hearts
Can I
and
start saying
minds
that?
are clear. Thank you for this. Let me say, as it's not intended to be anything sounding clandestine, but at the same time, this is to position the city to be able to be available for some things. I just want to ask, did you write this, Tyler? I looked at this. To lure and what were you thinking when you wrote this thing? To lure and entice Thank you.
I ain't saying I could say something. I'm not saying that.
Okay. If all hearts and minds clear, we'll entertain a motion now to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Brewer, Commissioner Newby. Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Cole? Yes. Commissioner Goble? Commissioner Newby?
Yes.
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Mayor Blythe?
Yes, thank you. Thanks to all of you.
We need your signature right now.
To lure and Tyler, wait.